Hey guys, I literally just got a mocha cookie frap from Starbucks, and this is the straw that they gave me. Like, it literally looks just like this. Did I even take the wrapper off? I don't think I even took the wrapper off. They just gave it to me like this. How the heck am I gonna drink my Starbucks without a straw? See, this is the moment where I'm gonna have to be a gremlin. Ow! It's so sticky. Ew, it smells so disgusting. Here we go. Y'all, this is really good. I really like this. What's poppin'? Welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys some binge-worthy Netflix shows that I feel like you guys should watch. If you're a series kind of girl and you really like getting into the whole Netflix series, you like to try to watch different shows, I'm going to introduce you guys to some shows that I just feel like are some really good shows. I pretty much compiled a list of 25 different shows that I've at least watched one episode of, so that I could just like give you guys my opinion on the show. I don't want to give you guys any shows that I've never watched, because it's like, what's the point of telling me this is a good show and you think I should watch this show if you've never watched it yourself? It's like getting a book for somebody that you never read. I'm also going to give you guys a description of each show so that you can actually see if it's something that you would actually like to watch. So without further ado, let's just get on into the video. Okay, so the first show that I put on my list is Raising Dion. I actually watched this show a really long time ago, probably last year or the year before last year. So it's been a long time since I've watched this show. Raising Dion is about a single mother that must hide her son's superpowers to protect him from exfoliation while investigating their origins and her husband's death. It's like a superhero, drama, science fiction, adventure fiction type of movie. So if you're into that type of stuff, this would be a good show for you to watch. The second show that's a really good show on Netflix is Riverdale. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have actually watched this show. If it's been on your bucket list for a while, go ahead and watch it because it is a really entertaining show. I'm not gonna lie, it was a bit confusing in the middle, but it all makes sense. It all adds up. Archie Andrews starts the school year with the world weighing on his shoulders. He's decided he wants to pursue a future in the music business, but his recently ended clandestine relationship with the music teacher has left him without a mentor, and his friendship with Jughead Jones is in a bad place. Things look like they might be turning around when Veronica Lodge, a new girl, arrives. Despite the instant chemistry, Veronica is hesitant to risk a friendship with Betty, who has a crush on Archie, to pursue anything. Amidst all the small town banality lurks a mystery: the recent tragic death of Jason Blossom, the twin brother of a beautiful and popular troublemaker, Cheryl. This show is basically like a bunch of high school drama, but there's like mysterious things in between the whole high school thing that people are trying to figure out. The genre of this show is drama and mystery. The next show that I suggest you guys watch is 13 Reasons Why. I feel like this is the type of show you could actually go back and watch it again. Newcomer Catherine Langford plays the role of Hannah, a young woman who takes her own life. 2 weeks after her tragic death, a classmate named Clay finds a mysterious box on his porch. Inside the box are recordings made by Hannah, on whom Clay had a crush, in which she explains the 13 reasons why she chose to commit suicide. If Clay decides to listen to the recordings, he will find out if and how he made the list. Basically, Hannah is kind of like the narrator of the show, and Clay is kind of like the main character, or one of the main characters. This show was a really good show, and if you guys heard about the show, obviously it's a good show, so you guys should watch it. The genre of this show is drama, mystery, and psychological thriller. The next show that you guys should watch, if you haven't already, is called Jane the Virgin. I watched this show when I was in middle school. I was basically just binge watching different shows to see what I would actually find interesting, and honestly, from the title of the show, I didn't think that it would actually be a good show, but after I ended up watching it, it was a really interesting and entertaining show. This show is about the daughter of a teen mother, Jane, who grew up determined not to repeat her mom's mistakes. At 23, her life is on track. Jane is studying to be a teacher and engaged to a handsome detective who supports her decision to remain a virgin until marriage. Then, a routine clinic visit flips her life upside down. Inseminated by a specimen meant for the patient in the next room, now pregnant Jane is in a situation made only more insane when she learns that the sperm donor is her boss, Raphael. As her meticulously planned life gets more like the telenovela she loves, she faces a lot of complicated decisions about where to go from here. This show, really good. It's like, I don't want to spoil it for y'all, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this show. You're gonna have a favorite person when it comes to certain people in this show. The genre of this show is telenovela, drama, satire, children's film, romantic comedy, and comedy drama. The next show is The Originals. Now, if you ever watched the Vampire Diaries, The Originals is another show kind of like originating from the Vampire Diaries. So basically, The Originals is about the people before the vampires in Vampire Diaries. If you were to watch it in order, you would watch The Originals first and then watch Vampire Diaries. The Originals is about Klaus, the original vampire slash werewolf hybrid, returns to New Orleans, which his family helped build, to investigate rumors of a plot against him. In this spin-off of the Vampire Diaries, he finds his former protege, Marcel, reigning powerful over its inhabitants, causing growing tension in the supernatural community. Klaus's brother Elijah joins him, and they learn that the werewolf Haley has fallen into the hands of a defiant witch who has life-changing information. Klaus and Elijah plan to reclaim the city, and while waiting to see if their last remaining sibling, Rebecca, will leave Mystic Falls to join them, they form an alliance with the witches to help further their cause. This genre is horror, fantasy, supernatural type of stuff, so if you're into that type of thing, this is the show for you. Another show that I'm going to be mentioning is The Vampire Diaries, which is, I think they made The Originals after Vampire Diaries. So if you do want to watch Vampire Diaries, I honestly suggest you watch The Originals first and then go to The Vampire Diaries, because it just makes more sense when you do it that way. But I started off by watching Vampire Diaries. The Vampire Diaries is an American supernatural teen drama television series developed by Kevin Williamson and Julie Plec. In The Vampire Diary, it follows the life of Elena Gilbert, a teenage girl who has just lost both parents in a car accident, as she falls in love with a 162-year-old vampire named Stefan Salvatore. Both brothers attempt to protect Elena as they face various villains and threats to their town, including Catherine. Watch the show. The genres of this show is romance, horror, drama, supernatural, and fantasy television. The next show that I have is Orange is the New Black. I really like this show because it teaches you about a bunch of different inmates and where they're from, and then it also kind of gives an insight to what goes on in prisons. This show is about Piper Chapman, who is a public relations executive with a career and a fiance, when her past suddenly catches up to her. In her mid-30s, she is sentenced to spend time in a minimum security women's prison in Connecticut for her association with a drug runner 10 years earlier. This Netflix original series is based on the book of the same title. Forced to trade power suits for prison orange, Chapman makes her way through the correction system and adjusts to life behind bars, making friends with the many eccentric, unusual, and unexpected people she meets. The genre of this show is drama, comedy drama, television comedy, and comedy. The next show that you guys should watch if you haven't already is When They See Us. This show is about the Central Park Boys. I didn't watch the story for entertainment purposes. I wanted to be enlightened on the situation that happened, and this basically is the story that kind of sheds light on the actual situation that happened. In 1989, a jogger was assaulted and raped in New York Central Park, and 5 young people were subsequently charged with the crime. The quintet, labeled the Central Park 5, maintained this innocent and spent years fighting the convictions, hoping to be exonerated. This limited series spans a quarter of a century from when the teens were first questioned about the incident in the spring of 1989, going through their exoneration in 2002, and ultimately the settlement reached the city of New York in 2014. The genre of this show is crime drama, true crime, and tragedy. So if you just wanted to know about the whole story of the Central Park 5, then I suggest you go and watch the show. The next show that I suggest you guys watch is All American. I haven't really been watching it as much, but I did watch the first 2 seasons. After that, I kind of stopped watching it because I was watching other stuff. Spencer James is a rising high school football player and a student at South Crenshaw High, but when Coach Billy Baker recruits him to join his team in Beverly Hills, Spencer's mother Grace and his best friend Coop convince him that it's an opportunity he has to seize. Forced to move in with Billy and his family to protect his transfer permit to Beverly, Billy's son Jordan, who is also the starting quarterback, is less than thrilled to be sharing his father's attention or the team's spotlight, while Spencer struggles to find his his footing, he makes an unlikely friend in Jordan's sister, who is struggling with her own demons. This is like a sports drama type of show. If you're into sports and also teen drama, watch this show because it's really good. The next show that I think you guys should watch is Stranger Things. If you've never watched Stranger Things, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of Stranger Things, and I'm pretty sure it's probably been on your mind to watch it if you haven't already. So if you've been thinking about watching it, go ahead and watch it now because it's a really good show. I was at a point in time where I knew it was a good show. A lot of people were talking about it, but I never just got around to actually watching the show. But when I did watch the show, it was a really good show. I'm not gonna lie, the first couple of episodes are kind of confusing, and there were a couple of times where I did try to start watching the show, but I could never fully get into it because the first couple of episodes were so confusing. But once you get past those first couple of episodes, the show is really good. You just have to get past the first couple of episodes. In 1980s Indiana, a group of young friends witness supernatural forces and secret government exploits. As they search for answers, the children unravel a series of extraordinary mysteries. The genre of this show is science fiction, horror, and drama. It was a really good show. I'm waiting for the next season. Like, the show is so good that, well, of course you're gonna have to wait for the next season. The show is so good that it's just good. You should watch it. The next show that you should watch if you haven't already is Good Girls. Good Girls is about sisters Beth and Annie and their best friend Ruby become fed up with playing by the rules and not getting the respect they deserve. They band together to take control of their lives by holding up a local grocery store. Beth, the perfect wife and mother, but her used car dealing, cheating husband has sent her family into financial ruin. Ruby is happily married to a policeman but can't afford the medical bills and experimental drugs to help her daughter. And Annie, a single mom, is caught in a nasty custody battle with her ex. In desperate need of money, the women plan the heist expecting to ease their financial burdens. But new to the game of crime, they get pulled in deeper than they ever imagined. And the only way out of this will be together. It's like 3 parent boss women turn into gangster women. The genre is crime and comedy drama, so it's kind of like a funny slash serious entertaining show. The next show that I have is The Walking Dead. Now this is a show that's been out since I can freaking remember. I remember when I was younger, my grandma used to watch the show and I used to like wonder what it was about, and then I looked it up a couple of years ago and I was like watching it and stuff, and I fell in love with the show. Like, I love The Walking Dead so freaking much. There was a point in time, and I don't wish this to ever happen, that I was just thinking like I want to be like in a zombie apocalypse for the day, just so I could see if I could survive or see how things would work out then. But I honestly really like the show. If you don't watch any other show on this list that I'm giving you guys, watch The Walking Dead and definitely watch Vampire Diaries, period. Based on the comic book series written by Robert Kirkman, this gritty drama portrays life in the months and years that follow a zombie apocalypse. A group of survivors travel in search of safety and security, constantly on the move in search of a secure home. But the pressure each day to stay alive sends many in the group to the deepest depths of human cruelty, and they soon discover that the overwhelming fear of the survivors can be more deadly than the zombies walking among them. At times, the interpersonal conflicts present a greater threat to their continuing survivor than the walkers that roam the country. So basically, their problem isn't with the walkers, it's with the people that survive the whole zombie apocalypse. The genre of this show is horror, neo-western, serial drama, and zombie apocalypse. The next show that you guys should watch is The Flash. I watched this a couple of years, was it a couple of years ago or was it last year? I think it was probably last year. I know like a lot of people aren't into like superhero type of stuff, but this show actually has like some drama to it. It's not just about superheroes, so if you're not into the whole superhero thing, this show has more than just superhero stuff. At 11, Barry Allen's life changed completely when his mother died in a freak accident and his innocent father was convicted of her murder. Orphaned, Barry later becomes Detective Joe West. Now a crime scene investigator, his dedication to learn the truth about his mother's death drives him to follow up on every new scientific advancement and urban legend. When his latest obsession, a particle accelerator heralded as a world-changing invention, causes an explosion. It creates a freak storm and Barry is struck by lightning. He awakens from a coma 9 months later with the power of super speed. When he learns that the others who have gained powers use them for evil, he dedicates himself to protecting the innocent while trying to solve the older mystery. This show's genre is superhero, drama, and action, so there's other stuff that goes on besides just like saving people, because I know that's probably boring to just watch somebody save people in every episode. The next show that you guys should watch if you haven't already is called Scream. It's not the actual whole Scream movie, it's a series. It's different from the movie Scream. Instigated by a cyberbullying incident that goes viral, a brutal murder in Lakewood stirs memories of a crime spree from the town's past that has haunted some, intrigued others, and maybe just spawned a new executioner. At the center of the story is a group of teenagers with two old friends struggling to reconnect at its heart. Who says the network, become lovers, enemies, suspect, targets, and victim of a killer who's out for blood. I think this show actually has a thing where the first season is a story, the second season is a different story, and the third season is like a different story. So each season is like a different storyline, and I find it really interesting, but it's all based on like the same type of thing. Basically, you're trying to find out who the killer is in each season. The genre of this show is anthology, slasher, teen drama, horror, and mystery. The next show that you guys should watch if you haven't already is Manifest. If you guys aren't into the whole manifesting thing, it's not about that. Manifest is about Montego Air Flight 828 landing safely after a turbulent but routine flight. The crew and passengers were relieved, but in the span of those few hours, the world had changed and it aged 5 years. And after mourning their loss, their friends, families, and colleagues had given up hope and moved on. Now, faced with the impossible, they're all given a second chance, but as their new realities become clear, a deeper mystery unfolds, and may some of the returned passengers soon realize that they may be meant for something greater than they ever thought possible. The genre of this show is drama and supernatural. The next show that you guys should watch if you haven't already is called Between. This show, I actually watched it, I think when it came out in 2015, so that's a long time ago. I'm not sure if they actually finished the show because I did not. No, I think they did finish the show because I watched both seasons. This show is about a pregnant teen and daughter of a pastor in the town of Pretty Lake who intends to give up her baby and leave her small town life behind forever. But when a mysterious virus starts claiming the lives of all the adults in the town, the government imposed quarantine means Wiley must stay put, at least for now. As the living continue to struggle for survival, Wiley and her best friend, whose college plans are also in jeopardy because of the quarantine, know that the only way for them to escape is to try to find the source of the virus. So it's basically like a whole thing. They have to quarantine in that area so that it can't spread, so the whole thing is like gated off and they're trying to find a way to escape. The genre of this show is science fiction and teen drama, so if you're into that, watch the show. The next show that you should watch if you haven't already is American Horror Story. The good thing about this show is there's a season for each story, so you can literally watch the show in any order you want to watch it in. You can watch the third season first if you want to, you can watch the last season first if you want to. Each season has a different story and it doesn't like connect or anything, so you're good with watching this show in whatever order you want to watch it in. I can't really give you guys like a description of each season because that would be me doing too much, but the show is about different horror stories and things that happen that are really interesting, and they also have some stories in there that are based on true stories, like things that actually happen. If you watch the show, you could probably relate it to something that you've heard about. The genre of this story is horror, drama, supernatural horror, and thriller. This a long title. The woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window. Watching the world go by from her living room window, heartbreaking Anna sets her sight on a handsome new neighbor until she witnesses a gruesome murder. Honestly, the show is kind of crazy. Some moments in the show is very cringy, like the things this woman does, it's very cringy. I just be want to go through the screen and tell her like, stop. If you're into a big plot twist, watch this show. The genre is dark comedy, mystery, and miniseries. The next show is All of Us Are Dead. This is another like zombie related show. It's like a Korean drama. Trapped students must escape their high school, which has become ground zero for a zombie virus outbreak. Basically, if they get bitten, they turn into a zombie. The genre of this is coming of age, horror, and zombie apocalypse. If you watch The Walking Dead, this would be a really good story for you. The difference between the two shows is is the zombies actually run in this show, so they have to run. You gotta be fast in this show. The next show, and I really mess with this show heavily, is called Money Heist. Money Heist is about a criminal mastermind who goes by the Professor, who has a plan to pull off the biggest heist in recorded history, to print billions of euros in the Royal Mint of Spain. To help him carry out the ambitious plan, he recruits 8 people with certain abilities and who have nothing to lose. The group of thieves take hostages to aid in their negotiations with the authorities, who strategize to come up with a way to capture the Professor. As more time elapses, the robbers prepare for a showdown with the police. It's a crime drama and comedy drama. It's a really good show, y'all. It's gonna be one of those shows that you don't want to do anything else but watch the show. You're gonna want to finish the show before you do anything else. The next show that you guys should watch, if you haven't, is Ginny and Georgia. This show is so good that I watched it 2 times. I'm literally waiting on them to come up with another season, and I might watch it again. Teenage Ginny and her family yearn to put down roots in the New England town after years on the run. Basically, their family moves a lot, but it's more drama because she makes like friends and stuff. In this show, it's kind of like a comedy drama. The next show that you guys should watch is Too Hot to Handle. This show, I'm actually not into reality shows, but this was one of the shows that I watched while I did like nails and stuff. It just came out with another season, so if you guys haven't started watching this, you definitely should. The next show that you guys should watch, if you haven't already, is Trinkets. This is actually a show that I watched in high school sometime, probably like my sophomore, junior year. And this show is about a grieving teenager who finds an unexpected connection with 2 classmates at her new high school when they all land in the same shoplifters anonymous group. So they're basically like shoplifters and they find friends in each other. And these girls literally have different backgrounds, like they're all different people and they become friends, which is really cool. The genre of this show is like teen drama. And then the last show that you guys should watch, if you haven't already, is Grand Army. Grand Army is about 5 students at the largest public high school in Brooklyn take on a chaotic world as they fight to succeed, survive, break free, and seize the future. It's a really good story. It's like a multiple story type of thing. Characters have different backgrounds. You can kind of learn about the characters' backgrounds. I love it. I loved watching it. It only has 1 season. I'm pretty sure another season is to come out, but for now it's only 1 season. Oh, they're ending the show. It's canceled. Oh my gosh. It's a really good show, so I'd say watch it, but don't expect another season. This is like a teen drama show, so it's really good. It's like 6:30 right now and I want to go to the cafe and get food. I've been sitting in this parking lot since about 5 o'clock, so we're gonna go ahead and end this video. I hope I helped you guys with finding a new show to watch. That's it for this video, and I will see you guys in my next video.